This is Gabriel Blythe, broadcasting on all channels to any and all survivors. I was planning on this just being a me and you special, but looks like we have a special visitor. Welcome back, Geharis.
You don't need to acknowledge me. Just broadcast as usual.
No, I think our survivors enjoy the breaks of me just complaining about my insecurity and attachment to my own crowbar. So, what are you doing here? You checking up on me?
Lancelot should be returning soon.
Ah, so you want to make sure you have something to report with. Tell him how you watched me or something like that. You know what he would really like to hear?
That we can go home now? Or do you think you know him so well?
You're dedicated to your mission, right? The stern look tells me everything. Isn't part of the mission to get to know me better? Maybe to find out some key secret that you didn't realize would affect the world? Maybe have one of those aha moments like they do in those medical dramas or something.
I am not allowed to discuss the—
I know. Maybe you can tell Lancelot you were building bridges. He would love to hear that.
How would I go about doing that?
Tell me about yourself.
You think you've backed me in the corner. The grin of the cat eating the canary sure says you think you do. Does this tactic work with the Demon Queen?
RQ? Oh, I wore her down eventually. Nothing but time.
Less than others.
What was that?
What do you want me to say?
What do you want to say? I'm not here to force you to talk about your past that you find upsetting. I want to know what you think is important to talk about. What's something you've overcome? Or when did you want to join the Knights?
At first, I didn't want to join the Knights. Didn't even care about them.
Why not?
I was first given an OBE for all that I had done for the crown. I didn't want to join at first because I had what some might call a sordid past.
A life of crime?
I ran a business. I was a businesswoman, and my business was crime.
That makes some sort of sense.
I had spent most of my life in that business, and after a while, you get weary. Weary of everything around you. You don't know who is friend or foe, who wants to help you or use you. All you know is that you are the only one that can be trusted. Some days you don't even know if you can trust your thoughts.
How did it start for you?
Classic story. I had some friends who wanted a nudie mag. They had tried to lift it, but got caught every single time. So I watched and waited. I organized those friends and a few others. I distracted the shopkeep about needing the bathroom because I need to use it. My period just started. That always makes them uncomfortable. Usually. Meanwhile, I had two friends drop a bottle of milk or something. I can't recall exactly, but they started making a ruckus, acting very embarrassed. Between the shopkeep handing me the key to the toilet and grabbing a mop, the third group lifted not one or two magazines, but a whole stack of them. A month's worth.
All over helping your friends steal a magazine. And that's what started your business?
Not quite. You see, there's no way those weak-willed boys could even make it through one of those magazines.
Gross.
That's where you're grossed out? You're a strange man, Gabriel Blythe.
It's not that I... You know what? Never mind. Go on.
Since one magazine for 5 boys was more than enough, I decided we could sell them and split the take, with the lion's share going to the brains of it all. And I never stopped.
Until...
You've had your dark moments. Those moments where you don't know who you are. The moment where you look at your path that you trailblazed, that you started, then to turn around on top of the world just to see it was a world you dominated alone. I thought I'd have more people on my side. Even those 5 original child criminals I started with either retired or the business retired them.
Did you ever try to fill that emptiness? Stereotypically, there's like booze or drugs.
I never touch the stuff. Secret of the business. Never take what you're selling. But a few of the people I would grow close to would eventually be tempted. And before they could finish their first sniff, I'd toss them to the curb. Or report them. Whichever was more fun at the time. Pass judgment wherever you like. We both know I'm not a kind person. Eventually, the constant lack of trust in anyone. Forced company, but isolation by necessity, if you like. I started spiraling. Depression, eating me alive. Everything I ever needed. But I never asked what it was that I wanted, yeah? Any attempt at companionship had me wondering if they were just a rival businessman, a plant, an undercover officer, someone just using me.
Did you ever find that person?
In a sense.
Is it Lancelot?
What? No?
Sure thing. So, what did pull you out?
My suicide attempt. Did you expect me to bump into Lancelot and him to convince me to change my ways? Hardly. He wasn't even the first night I met. I wanted out, and I thought the best way was to end it all. I won't go into details, but I failed. I wanted to find people I could trust for once, even if it meant destroying this life and starting a brand new one. So what I did was make my business work for me and my way out. Piece by piece, I sold it off. This territory to that group, that intel to those officers. I eventually was noticed by a handful of knights who investigate my line of work.
Why check in on crimes like this? Don't they normally do, like, international things?
Do you think the world is in constant peril? Besides, my reach was international. Point is, out of 20 knights, some of them are working in their community, and one of them was trying to clean up her streets. She saw me cleaning it up for her and offered a partnership. It was great because the knights were the most pure group. No one could get an inside man. A council of 22 people all acting on the behalf of God and the crown. It's impossible to fool them. Eventually, there was an opening. After I sold the last of my past, I was offered a chance to start my life all over. They wanted someone who knew how to do the devil's work. I didn't want to at first. Too scared about retaliation from my old crew. The crown wouldn't settle for anything less than a private OBE, but Percival? Well, she did a better job of wearing me down. She showed me the life I could have. The one I realized I wanted. 20 people who I could trust, mind, body, and soul. So, here I am.
It's not the story I was expecting, but I liked it.
Oh, thank you, kind beacon of hope.
You and Lancelot keep calling me that. What does it mean?
Forget I said anything.
No, I insist. What does it mean?
It's an order from Merlin. I order you to forget it.
I'm sorry, I don't report to you. What does that mean? Just tell me.
I am forbidden.
For a criminal, you sure are bad at breaking rules.
Call me what you will. It was the strict rules I placed on myself and those around me that led to my success. Clearly you can't comprehend self-discipline or the hard work it takes to uphold an oath. Come to me when you've held an oath or lived a life of meaning.
What the hell does that mean?
Ask Lancelot if you like. I can't promise I'll tell you anything. If you're done, I'll wait outside.
Well, that's frustrating. Infuriating probably would be a good word for it, too. How do you forget something when someone tells you to forget about it? It's like bad gossip that you want to be true. Do you think that the hope thing is like my code name? That they would talk about me in front of their civilians and want to name me just in case. If that's it, I think that's pretty cool. what about that story? She's not just better than me, right? She's stuck in her ways that makes sense to her. Yeah. Rules and structure made her life livable? At least easier. And if that worked then, why not follow them now? Or maybe that's me projecting. It could all be lies. She doesn't seem the improv type, though. Well, I hope the cool backstory was fun for you. A good change of pace, I imagine. If you want to help push for more of these cool stories, you know what I'm gonna say, come join us. I think a storm is coming. It'd be nice to feel safe and warm with friends and a cup of coffee. A good cup of coffee, even. You are always welcome here. You aren't alone, and you don't have to be.